Pisces, it's like Arctic from an emotional perspective this month for you in September. But let's have an aligned astro chat about it and see how we can heat it up. Hello all, Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to your Transformational Tarot reading for September 2025, Pisces. This is part of my Black Feather Couture Divining a VIP Life series. So excited to be connecting with you guys today. We are going to pull an overarching theme card from the Spiritual Awakening Oracle cards. This is by Dr. Erin Fall Haskell. And then the card deck that stood out to me for you guys today is the Tarot Illuminati by Eric C. Dunn. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay. So yeah, I'm feeling like when I tap into your energy on an emotional level, there's going to be a lot of frosty. I don't know if this is coming from you or if it's coming from others directed toward you. But I am definitely feeling that you're going to be dealing with uncomfortable relationship connections. Maybe some anger, maybe frustration in a dynamic or a relationship. And I feel like this is, for most of you, going to be connected to something that it's like it's not your first rodeo. It's like we've been down this road. How many more times do we have to address the same issue? And I feel like there's going to be kind of a realization for you in that experience of how many more times do I actually want to be doing this? And so I feel that there are going to be some choices made. Now, not to dun, 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 oh my God, my relationship's over. This isn't necessarily about romantic partnership. It isn't a love reading. I feel like this is, we have soul contracts with everyone that we engage in. And I feel like, you have a relationship with the cashier at the grocery store. You have a relationship with your doctor. You have a relationship with your brother or your sister or your cousin. You have a relationship with your friends, your neighbors. So this can fall into any one of those categories. But I do feel that at the end of this month, there will be some level of conclusion on your part, a resolution on your part for either how you wish to choose to deal with the situation or if you wish to continue to deal with the situation. And so let's just sort of see what the theme is. Oh yeah, the law of reciprocity. Give without expecting anything in return. I feel like this is part of the issue, is you're recognizing, okay, I'm giving, but, and when it says here, give without expecting anything in return. Yes, okay, that's part of the law. But I also want to say the other part of the law of reciprocity is recognizing that if I'm giving to the same source over and over and over again, and I'm getting absolutely nothing in return, and it's bothering me, it's angering me, it's causing resentment, I'm feeling drained, then I would say to you that you have the ability to discern whether or not you want to continue that relationship because it isn't reciprocal. So let's see how this is all going to kind of play out for you guys in this month. Wow, we're starting off with a bang. So this is you in the present moment. Where are you right now in your transformational journey? What part of you is shifting, rising, or dissolving? Three of Cups. So I feel like the issue that I'm tapping into definitely feels like it's connected to chosen family. So this can be friendships. This can be family that, your family that you've created, you and your spouse or your partner, and maybe some children in the mix, maybe some fur babies in the mix, people that you live with every day and you rely on every day. And I feel like what I'm seeing here is there's one individual. She's standing higher than the rest. She's not paying attention to the other two. She's holding her cup to the sky, and she's very focused on her agenda. And then you have the other two. This one, she's looking to her cup. I guess they're all looking to their cups, but the feeling that I get here is, okay, she's looking to her cup and she feels sort of a part of where this is concerned, but like there's no eye contact. So like they're all doing this together, but she's like, it's almost like she knows her place. And then this third one, I feel almost like she's trying to get in. She's trying to be a part of. She wants to be a part of. I feel like she's looking at the two of them, wanting the engagement, but maybe not getting some of that engagement. So what does all of that mean? I feel very much like you're in a space right now where you're having to chase things. You're having to chase connection, having to chase what you need from certain individuals that are in your inner circle or your chosen family. Not all of them, but I feel like there's one or two. There are one or two that you're having some of these issues with. What's really interesting is that there's plenty to go around for everyone, right? You're seeing all of this abundance. There's clearly an ascension that's happening, but there can be more of, I want to say, an engagement with one another. You know, the traditional RWS card shows three women that are clearly clinking their glasses together. This looks a little bit more ceremonial, and it definitely looks like there's a hierarchy. And I feel like there's a part of you that wants to dissolve the hierarchy. You want to say, we're all equal, we're all one, we're all, here to learn, different, have different experiences with one another, learn different things about our soul path and our soul journey. So I definitely feel that you're dealing with issues around hierarchy. And I feel that you're craving to dissolve this hierarchy. You want to rise. You want for all of you to be able to stand on the same stair, but also to walk up the stairs together, because there's plenty to go around. So there's something going on for you right now, Pisces, that says to me that you're feeling a little bit excluded, or you're feeling like you're having to do the heavy lifting in order to be able to be a part of something. The catalyst, what's fueling or hindering your transformation? And is this resistance or rocket fuel? Yeah, so I definitely feel that there's somebody here who is very focused on their own ego, very focused on their own desires, their own wants. I'm hearing for some of you, this feels like a boss dynamic, or maybe some narcissism coming into the mix around a dynamic that you're dealing with. Someone who definitely feels that they are better than. And I just feel so much like you are sick and tired of it. And you're really in this month coming to kind of a resolution for yourself around it, coming to the conclusion that, I don't need to do this anymore. Take this job and shove it. Don't want to work for you no more. And I feel like, the devil, you can make the devil work for you, because the devil can also indicate rebelliousness, being a rebel. And you can be a rebel without a cause, or you can be a rebel with a cause. And I feel like when we're talking about this card energy, yeah, there is a person or a situation that represents the devil. To you, I feel that is the catalyst for what this is, that you're saying, I don't have to chase you anymore. I don't want to do that. But there are also some, egoic or hierarchical, considerations in the mix. But I'm going to choose to be the rebel. I'm going to choose to say, I don't need to do this anymore. I don't need to, be in a self-imposed prison here. I choose to walk a different path. I choose to say, I'm removing myself from this game. I no longer want to play this game. And I feel that you will be successful in that, if that's the path you choose, where you decide, I'm going to be rebellious. I'm going to do things that are off the beaten path. And I'm not going to worry too much about it. It'll all work itself out in the wash. I will figure it out. And you will be successful at doing that. Deep root. What deep belief, wound, or soul contract is driving this transformation under the surface? Wow. So there's a lot of, I feel like this is going to be profoundly transformational for you this month, around either a relationship or a grouping of relationships that is going to steer you in a very different path. But I feel like the path is going to bring about a lot of life, growth. Interesting that we've got the Four of Cups here. There is a belief here for you that, like, I feel like being in this dynamic has kind of worn away some of the excitement that you that is afforded to you, that is your birthright, about being alive, about pursuing your dreams, pursuing your goals, about understanding that your ideas have merit and they matter, and they are worthy of exploration. I feel like this card is indicating that there's an opportunity here for you to come back into yourself, to find yourself again, or to allow yourself to rise to the surface. It's really interesting. She's tattooed. She's tattooed all in blue. And I don't know exactly what the tattoos are. Let me see if I can show you a little bit closer without the reflection. So it might look like she's wearing, leotards or something, or, stretch pants or whatever, but it's actually blue tattooing on her legs. And I feel like what this is really commenting on, I'm going to try and get it without the reflection. Let's see. Oh, here we go. There we go. There's a coming to life that's available here. Like, you have everything that you need, all the resources that you need, you're carrying them with you. But if you're not paying attention to them, you're used to them being on your body, so you forget, right? Speaking as someone who has a number of tattoos, you get so used to them. And then when someone calls it out and says, oh, what's that tattoo? I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't thought about that in a while, but I got that tattoo during this time in my life. And here's her name, or here's why I got the tattoo, right? It's a remembrance of that. She's not paying attention, or he's not paying attention. They are not paying attention to what they've got right in front of them. They're despondent, right? They're in disappointment. They're in delay. And then, of course, you've got this beautiful chalice that's even better, even more ornate than these other ones that you're kind of focused on. And it's here for you. But you got to kind of look up. You got to look around. You got to pay attention to what's coming up and coming through. So I feel like this is a little bit of like you being kind of a little beaten down, or just getting so caught up in the now of things that you're forgetting what you already know. I have the tools here. There are things that I can do to shift out of this and to take back my power. What's dying away? What part of you is falling away at this time? And what role, pattern, or identity has run its course? You being the one that has to do all the hard work and the heavy lifting. I feel like this is a particular time in your life where you're recognizing how much you give and how much you maybe don't receive in return. And again, it's not tit for tat. We don't give to receive. But everything is energy. And if you're giving to a particular situation or circumstance or a particular person, and you're getting literally nothing back in return, there is an unbalanced dynamic there. And energetically, that's going to take its toll. It's going to show that you're doing more work than you need to. And eventually you're going to burn out, right? So I feel like the what's dying away is you feeling like this is all your responsibility. Especially when we're dealing with relationships. There are always two sides to a relationship, right? There's your side and my side. Actually, I should say three sides. There's your side, my side, your truth, my truth, and then there's sort of the universal truth in the middle of the circumstance or the situation. And I feel like you've been, especially I'm speaking to a lot of the empaths out there, you've been carrying and holding the weight for this person or this situation or circumstance for a really long time. And I feel like in September, you're coming to the realization that this is just too much work for me. Well, why is it too much work for me? Because it's too much work for any one person, because it's not mine. It's not all mine. There are other people that have participated in creating this. And so I keep seeing you like taking that hoe and just throwing it down and walking out of the garden, like taking what you can hold in your hands and then leaving the rest. So rather than picking all the harvest and bringing it in and canning it and then cooking the meal and distributing it to everybody, and then everybody just kind of comes and sits at the table and eats it, oh, okay, thanks, and then they leave the dishes for you to do on the other side of it too. You're saying, no, I'm going to just take care of myself in this situation. And you can do with it whatever you want. I'm not taking from you. I'm just not going to do it all for you. Wow, Pisces, I feel like there's kind of a big shift that is happening for you in September. And I feel like a lot of this is you coming into your own, making some choices that are going to allow you a little more freedom in your life. I want to say a lot of liberation, actually. Highest phoenix potential. What can rise from the ashes? What is your soul calling you toward? This is your breakthrough energy. 5 of Wands. Interesting. So a new focus, training people up to be able to fend for themselves, to think for themselves, to handle situations where you can trust that they're going to do things that is going to support, the team or the family, or support themselves without you having to spearhead the whole experience. I feel very much that you've been trying this for a long time. You've been trying to get a group of people or a dynamic, particular energy that you're dealing with within a group or within yourself, within your own family circle, chosen family. You've been trying to get people to work together, to understand, to kind of like wrap their head around the scope of what you understand to be the reality, to be in existence, to be what needs to happen. And I don't know exactly like where it has like gone off the rails or just not been received, but I feel like this is a month where it's going to be received. And a big part of that is because I feel like you are not taking no for an answer. Again, you're stepping into that devil energy. You're turning that energy right back on itself. And you're going to use it to your advantage, maybe even using it against the person who's trying to use it against you. You're taking it back. And you're doing it in a very focused, considered manner. You're trained for this. You know what you're doing. You know how to go about things. I feel like whatever this dynamic is, these others that are involved, like they need you more than you need them. And you haven't been looking at it in that way because you're like, oh, we're all a team player. But they've been looking at it from that perspective. I don't want you to know how much I need you. So I'm going to just kind of go and do my own thing. But now we have to bring reciprocity. We've got to bring a little bit of a tally here, because otherwise I'm the one who's doing all the work and I'm getting burned out. So we all need to come together. We all need to shift our focus. And when we're all on the same page, then the movement and the growth can happen. And I feel like that's really what you're bringing to the table. That's the highest phoenix potential of this month, is bringing everyone into alignment to work towards the same goal. You will succeed. You absolutely will succeed. I just keep hearing the word boundaries. And like with the 7 of Pentacles, dropping that hoe, taking what you need for you and letting everybody else fend for themselves. Wow. I feel like there are some of you that are dealing with a really childish work situation, like a work situation where you've got a lot of crybabies, a lot of individuals who are used to being kind of hand-fed, right? Bottle-fed, hand-fed. And I just feel like you've come to the end of your rope with it. You're like, I'm happy to be all in and to be a team player if it's working for the benefit of all of us. But if I'm the one who's carrying the lion's share, no, I'm not interested in that anymore. What's emerging? What's just around the corner for you? What energy or experience is coming in to support this next phase? Ooh, I love it. You got the World card. Wow. Okay. So not only are you like coming full circle, but you are coming full circle in a very victorious way. Like, look at the laurel wreaths here, right? I mean, there's a victory here. You have, it's the sum total of everything you've been working to achieve. It is, in this instance for you, this is you kind of like the, oh, that was a different reading. Sorry, I was looking for the 10 of Pentacles. In the World card, like the 10 of Pentacles, it's like, I've arrived, like I've achieved the goals that I set out to achieve. That's what the World card is on steroids, right? It's the end of the Fool's journey in the major arcana. And I feel like this symbolizes a bit of a graduation from whatever this is. You're recognizing, I've taught the lessons that I need to teach, and I no longer want to do that anymore. So I'm going to move on. I'm graduating from this lower frequency, lower vibrational energy, from all of this, I want to say, the human game of life. And I'm moving into a more peaceful, more prosperous, maybe more loving and supportive dynamic. And I'm doing it on my own. Like, with or without you, this is where I'm going. And I'm not going to look back. If you want to come with, feel free to come with, but bring your growth with you. Grab your own hoe, grab your own grapes, grab your own basket, because I'm not doing it with you. You're welcome to join me if you're going to support yourself and do your work. I'm not doing it with you. So I feel that there's this, almost like this graduation that you're stepping into. And that feels really, really good. And wow, do I feel ever that there's going to be a major turnaround in your life, and everything's going to happen really quickly, but it's because you've learned the lesson, and it's because you're standing firm in your boundaries around what that looks like. You're not taking no for an answer. You don't care whether they join you or not. You're saying you're welcome to join, but otherwise, like, I'm moving forward. There's nothing here that is worth, there's nothing here that's keeping me here at this point. Like, you've got to give me a reason to invite you to where I'm going, because where I'm going feels pretty freaking good. Interesting. Okay. You in this process, how are you navigating this transformation? Are you resisting, flowing, grieving, or boldly rising? Wow. Okay. So you're the one that's doing the work. You're mastering your craft. This is the 8 of Pentacles. You're mastering your craft. You have learned the lessons that you needed to learn. And you are very clear now in this space on where you want to be, what you want to contribute. You're doing it. And you're determined now to say, I don't need anyone else in order to be able to go and do what I need to do. I don't need anyone's permission. I'm no longer a novice at this. I actually have some street cred now. I have some ability. And I feel like this really boosts your confidence. Like, you're feeling really confident about this choice. And yeah, this feels pretty big, but I want to say you're bigger than it, and you're owning your own power. You're recognizing that you actually have a lot to offer, and there's nothing or nobody that is going to hold you back from really standing in that truth, living it, shining it. You're not hiding in plain sight anymore, I feel, on this particular issue. You're not going to sit in somebody's shadow. Ooh, and some of you need to hear this. You're not going to play small in order to keep someone else big, looking big, the appearance of big, the illusion of big, right? I don't need to be small and dim my light in order for yours to shine brighter. That's not how this works. I shine my light, you shine your light. And when we work together, the light gets stronger. But if you choose not to do that, hell no, you're not going to squash my light. I don't need to play that game. That's not how this goes. So I would say, like, are you resisting, flowing, grieving, or boldly rising? Fuck, you are boldly rising. And like, look out. Anybody who gets in your way, look out. Because you're determined. You're resolved. You're resolved. That's what I'm feeling. This is a situation of resolve, and good on you. I really feel in a lot of ways this is kind of a long time in coming. Circles of support. Who or what is influencing your transformation right now? And is it in a positive or a negative way? 10 of Swords. Yeah. Because you're recognizing I can't grow anymore in this situation. I've got nothing left to give you at this point. I've given you all that I have. I need to go and grow in order to be able to have something more. I've literally drained my battery. My love cup is empty. And this is now time for me to open myself up. And I'm not necessarily going to get it from here. I'm not necessarily going to get it from you. I need to move forward. Wow. So I also like that it's a 10 because, again, 10s are new beginnings based on an already established foundation. I talked a little bit about the 10 of Pentacles in that regard. And I feel like, this is the circles of support. I feel like you're the one that's supporting you. And you've got some people around you that I feel are acknowledging this as well. They're going to say to you, hell yeah, like I got your back. I agree with you. This needs to stop. Let me know how I can support you. Or, yeah, I got you. I get it. Like all the way, calling you, checking in on you. How are things going? What did you do today? Oh, good for you. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? So you're definitely going to be supported and supported in some really powerful ways. But I do feel that the buck stops here. And this is you supporting you. Okay, and now we are at hopes and fears about the change. What are you dreaming of becoming? And what scares you about actually doing it? Oh, this needs to go here. And there we go. We got the Queen of Swords. Boundaries, baby, boundaries. So yes, I feel like you're resolved. There's a lot of determination. You're resolved in your decision, in your choices. Oh, there was a card that was stuck to that. You're resolved in your decisions and your choices. And I also feel here that the hope is that when you lean into these boundaries, that A, they are respected, but B, that they are understood. I feel like there's a desire here for you to be understood for the choices that you're making, like why I'm making the choice, why I am doing this in such a clear, direct measure or way or manner. And I feel like a big part of that is because all of this feels a bit like out of character for you, but yet so necessary and a big part of your own growth. And I feel, again, you're resolved to that. You know that this is the way it needs to be. But at the same time, there is a little bit of fear and trepidation that, all of this might blow up in my face. There might be something that they say that wounds me deeply. There might be something that transpires where I feel completely justified, and then they say something and then I lose my resolve. Then I feel a little bit lost, or it creates a bit of doubt in my path. And I want to say to you, all of that is completely normal. It's justified, that you're feeling that way. But I also want to say to you, this feels like it's been going on for a long time. So like, you don't need proof. You don't need, you have enough proof to kind of justify this decision that you're making to kind of move forward out of this decision or out of this situation and into something that's a little more sane, a little more balanced, a little more peaceful in your heart space. And believe it or not, by you doing this, you're helping this situation as well, because, we all need to bring our A game to the table. And when we accept or settle for less than what we know another person is capable of, then we are not doing them a service, right? We are not serving either parties involved. None of the parties involved are really being served. So I feel like what's going to help you through this, sort of Queen of Swords energy is by reminding yourself the boundaries help me, but the boundaries also help them. And so even in my resolve to kind of move forward, I'm still in service. I'm still giving them an option to grow, to expand, to shift, to change, to learn the lesson. Outcome. If you stay on course this September, who will you be on the other side of this journey? What is the result of embracing the full cycle of death and rebirth? Oh my God. Pisces, the sun. Look at that. It's the yes card. It's the light of truth. It's the joy. I mean, I don't even need to say anything here. It doesn't get better than this. Wow. Okay. I also want to say, when it comes to this is what you have been craving. You've been craving the sun on your face. You've been craving the truth to come to light. You've maybe even been the person to bring the truth to light. But now you're recognizing it's no longer my job. Maybe it never was my job. So I'm walking away from all of that. But the outcome is going to be exactly that. And the lesson in all of it is maybe I didn't have to work so hard to get to this. Maybe I could have allowed a little more organic flow in life to be this. And I do feel like that's part of this lesson. When we get into doing the job for everybody else, trying to take care of everyone else, solving the problems, being all things to all people, there's a component of our own shit that is getting in the way. What is it about me that I feel I need to control everything in my life or everyone in my life? What is it about me that feels that I need to be the rescuer? Where is the wound in that? So I feel like with the sun coming up, it's a lesson for them, but it's also a lesson for you too, to say, maybe next time this kind of thing presents itself, I don't have to go this deep to get to this. Because now I've established these boundaries. Now I know the path that I'm going to take. I'm taking it now. I'm applying it now. And that wisdom is going to be integrated. But that sun, I feel like this is just like all of these other cards, there's been some heaviness that we've had to kind of process and deal with. But the sun coming out, oh my God, it just tells you right away, this is exactly happening the way it needs to happen. This is happening to support you. And I love that. OMG. Pisces. What an incredible September this is going to be. A lot of heavy stuff here. If you need some support, please feel free to click on the link below. Book a session with me. It's what I do. I am here to help you out if you need a little bit of guidance. Otherwise, sending you guys so much love and support. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you got a lot out of the reading. And until we see each other for another episode of Black Feather Couture, Divining a VIP Life, I will say transform well.